You're listening to Keeping It 100 with Mel and Bruce, sponsored by the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. What they see is what they'll be. My name is Mel Tiller, and I am thrilled to be your host. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take you to church today.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're going to have some fun. We have as our guests, look out, look out. We have the great, the extraordinary Dexter Smiles. And oh, by the way, we also have Mr. McClinton Neal, actor, comedian. And together, these gentlemen are known as the Bishops of Comedy. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey, Brother Bell, we happy to be on the show. We come in speaking in tongues. Now, most of our tongues is pig Latin, but we speaking it.
Well, that's all right.
Let him know, Mac.
I like that. I like that, Mac, because listen, I'm going to tell you something. We have more churches in Las Vegas than you can count. So we have a whole lot of folks who know how to speak in tongues.
Hey,
we're ready for you.
I like that idea because we just left Las Vegas for the Stellar Awards.
Yes, yes. Stellar Awards were hot. As a matter of fact, I visited with and had on the show. I had that gentleman who sings that wonderful songs. Never could have made it. Never would have made it. Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic, and the Stellar Awards were great. We were fantastically thrilled to have the Stellar Awards back in Vegas again.
Beautiful.
Amen.
And you guys were here. Marvin Sapp was here. CeCe Winans was here. Oh, we had some church. We had some church.
Amen.
They made the New Orleans. That was what I call a view of heaven. We was having a good time in there.
Yes,
Amen.
We did. Yes, we did. So, Dexter, you are a seasoned veteran comedian. You are a host extraordinaire. Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Well, I got started, actually, when I was a kid, I was always the mama joke king. There'd be 3 or 4 of them against me doing mama jokes, and I was always the funny one of all my friends that kept everything going and kept life in our surroundings. And amongst our company and fellowship as kids. And then after college, I started going to the comedy clubs in LA. Then I started bringing my friends, and they were like, man, you're just as funny as them or funnier. So it took me about a good year. And what I did is I started writing. One of my buddies suggested, just start writing it down, man. And I started writing the jokes down and rehearsed them. And I went up at a club called Birdland West. A jazz club in downtown Long Beach, where Joe Albright recorded one of his live albums.
Yeah.
And the host of that show was D.L. Hughley. And my first night on stage, D.L. was the host. Also on that show was Aunt Dale, who is Yvette Wilson from Moesha. The funniest guy on the show wasn't even the headliner. I had Joe Torre on that show, Ricky Harris, Jamie Foxx. The headliner was Martin Lawrence, but the funniest man on the stage was T.K. Kirkland.
Really?
Man, T.K. is so funny, man. Woo!
That is a heavyweight lineup.
Yes, sir.
You had to be extremely confident to step on stage with those guys.
I was first, so I had the easiest position. I had to follow nobody. and to be honest, I rehearsed so much that when I opened my mouth, nervousness and all, it just spilled out.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and D.L. Hughley told me, you did the right thing, man. Every time they laugh, you shut up.
That is absolutely right. So, Mac, I understand that you came to the world of comedy just a little bit differently. You were literally an Olympian on the
Yes.
1992 Olympic team.
Yes, yes.
I'm honored to be with you, brother,
Thank you,
because
thank
in
you.
order to make the Olympic team, you had to be one bad boy. Tell us about that.
Amen.
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up in an area of Dallas called Oak Cliff, and due to it wasn't the safest place all the time, sprinting was a norm. So it became a part of my training survival on accident. And so the nature of being an athlete and so forth come from a very depth high school that was noted for track and field in the 80s, and really wasn't into stand-up or nothing like that, but similar to Dexter, always just the life of the party in terms of humor. We have something called roasting that in the Black neighborhood. Gotta learn to roast and talk about each other in a fun way just to be a part of the group. And I did very well at that. I mean, if you had a mole on your forehead, it looked like Pluto and Jupiter when I got through. I could throw it to whatever my mind saw it to be.
Listen, both of you fellas must have done a lot of running, because he's talking about being king of mama jokes. All those boys got beat up. Okay.
Yeah. And I was a track guy as well because of the mama jokes.
So that's how I tapped into that part of it. And then for as the comedy element, I mean, I ran track for 10 years for 7 years for Adidas, and finished my career with Santa Monica Track Club. I always wanted to get into comedy, but it was kind of a conflict of nightlife and being an athlete.
Yeah.
So my first try at it was actually in Dallas at this club at the time called Phase One that had like a talent night type thing after a certain hour. So I tried it there and I did pretty good and just kept kind of playing with it. So when I moved to LA to finish running track, that's when I started to go out 30, 40 minutes away from LA, just trying to take my natural humor that I just did in front of people and create a stage performance.
Yep.
And then I wound up going to Atlanta to a friend of mine's function. And he said, Mac, I want you to do some stand-up tonight. And I did. And then afterwards, he paid me. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Now it's getting better. I can get paid to tell these jokes. I'd rather run my mouth than run these legs. So, and so from that point, that was a good friend of mine, Greg Holmes, who paid me my first payment. And so it wasn't track, but it allowed me to see that, hey, I'm talented enough to be paid. I just need to work on it. So I took the advice of men not to come to LA and go into the big clubs early. I spent about a year just harnessing what I thought would be my style of humor. And I just started showing up, and people like, who is this guy just showing up?
And I also noticed that you have some rather impressive credits as an actor.
Yeah, I've been on Young and the Restless. I've been on General Hospital. There was a show called Arliss I was on. I've done a few movies. I've done 5 or 6 national commercials. So I've been in this for a while. It's just I started late because it was past 30 when I really started comedy, where most people start early.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think myself, along with my partner and crime Bishop, Dexter, we're both funny people, but in this business, it's not like sport. I had to weigh my own self. If I was good enough to be, I was ranked as high as 7th in the world. So they was going to call me and pay me. I didn't have to have an agent or a producer to like me. If I was fast, the world paid me. And in this business, you can be funnier than the people that you know who are famous.
Yep.
The right lane or the right door to open, you're kind of hovering at the mercy of an opportunity.
Yep.
Yes,
entertainment. I don't quite like. Like
entertainment is tough. It is a really, really tough business. So, Dexter, tell me this: both of you all had credits as actors. Both of you all had individual careers as comedians, and both of you all were doing well. What made you guys decide that you wanted to collaborate and form the Bishops of Comedy?
Mm-hmm. Well, I started looking around the comedy realm, and I saw that they had everything in the secular world.
Yes.
Everything. the kings of comedy, the queens of comedy,
Yes.
the Latin kings of comedy.
Yeah.
And I saw
Grocery store
nothing.
comedy. They had everything.
Yes. Yeah, the blue collar comedy.
Comedy.
They had nothing over here in this gospel world, you know. And I was sitting there and I said, what kind of name could I come up with? And I just started going through names in the church and things that I could use. And I said, the bishops of comedy, or the comedians, bishops of comedy, or comedians who are bishops. And I came up with the concept and I held on to it for a while. And I talked to my manager at the time. Well, he's still our manager. And he says, well, you got to find some guys that you believe in. And when I saw Mac the second time, I told our manager, I said, Chucky, that's my bishop right there. And then once I gave him the idea and told him what it was, he bought it. And he came in and started creating all this stuff. I said, I didn't want it to go that way, but then I bought into what he said. And now we do our thing, and it is beautiful.
Well, that's fantastic, Matt. So there's some people who love Christian comedy, love religious comedy, and they would like to get in touch with you. What's your contact information?
Well, our contact is www.thebishopswithanS.comedy.com. That's thebishopsofcomedy.com.
Yes.
Phone number is also 310-712-6300. That's 310-712-6300.
So, Mac, how long have you guys been together?
Actually, we started before COVID, and we was actually really, really growing fast.
Yes.
Okay.
And
all right.
COVID sort of slowed us down, and there was a moment we even got a little bit discouraged, because it was like it kept going. It wasn't 3 months, it was 6 months. But I came to Dexter and said, this is when the enemy wants you to just break down and quit. So I suggested that we do a 30-day prayer fast where we had to pray 30 days straight and allow the Lord to keep us encouraged and focused. And he brought us both where we would either pray together or text our prayer. We had to keep each other accountable to prayer. And I said, man, we can't just
I'm gonna stop you right there, because listen, you are now giving people some practical information. Dexter, explain to me about this 30-day. Now, I've heard about fasting, I've heard about praying. I have not heard about prayer, fast. Tell me how you put those two together, and tell me how you came up specifically with 30 days. Tell me exactly how that process works.
Okay. Matt came up with the idea. He said, Dex, we need to keep prayer in here, like he said, because the enemy is trying to come in and tell us no.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we kept saying yes. And so we had to make each other accountable, as he said. So I would say a prayer, basically text it to him.
Let me say this to individuals who are listening here. I do a lot of life coaching, and one of the things I tell people is find yourself a success partner. Find yourself somebody who will of like minds, who will keep you accountable. Success partnership works. And now you're using that, and you are adding in prayer, and and tell me how you wound up adding the prayer and how you added the fasting.
Well, the part of what some people see fast is always, some people see it as just as food fasting.
Yes.
Us, we had to embrace discipline.
Yes.
So for us, not being able to meet up because we were all isolated, stuck in the house, we had to find a form of performing and rehearsing that required discipline.
Yes.
So the part of the fast was prayer for God to instill in us such a discipline that we didn't let the COVID stop us from rehearsing and performing. So we utilized the technology that we have, like this Zoom, in our phones, to stay dedicated to our task of writing. So part of our fast was did you do your homework today? Did you do what you're supposed to do on your end of being a bishop? And did I do what I was supposed to do on my end of being a bishop? regardless though we can't see the end road, part of being a faith-based person
Yes.
is faith, being able to see the things as not seen as though they are. So we had to not only have faith, but I was in Dexter, work without faith without work is void. We can have faith
Yep.
out. We don't have to stop working just because.
Yes.
We have to have faith that God would open the doors of society and humanity at some point.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Talk to me about faith without works is dead. Talk to me about how important the work was.
I'll let Dexter jump in. I'll just say this quick. I'm not an Olympian through faith.
Amen.
I believe I can run this curve. I believe I can run this curve. If I don't believe I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and hit these hills.
Yes. And so, Brother Mel.
Amen.
I believe it, but I got to get out here and run it.
Okay, as far as the faith and the work, see, what we had to do was this. When we rejoined after the pandemic started to slow up, which was last year, what we did is we went back to where we began. We had to read our script, say a prayer, and acknowledge that we had read the script, even though I'm 20 minutes away from Matt. And I had to text him and let him know that. And if it got close to, we had to do it before that midnight that night. If it got to 11:20, I'm texting him or he's texting me to make sure we made each other accountable. As you said, you needed a faith-based partner.
Yes.
Well, my partner knew work. We're both former athletes.
Yeah.
So we know that in order to be a great team, everybody got to do their part. So when I hand the stick to him in that relay, he takes it and does his part.
That's right.
And that's how it all worked out for us. And I want to tell you, I don't think I could have chosen a better partner to be my brother with the Bishops of Comedy. And a lot of people ask us, well, can I perform with you? It's a two-man race. We build who we are. We can come back one day and say, the Bishops of Comedy presents its friends, but we got to get known to bring others. Well, also, and it's not a selfish thing.
No, not at all. Actually, Mel, this is something that we've brought a hybrid to comedy in a way that we feel that from what we've researched, it hasn't been seen in this format. We've seen.
Amen.
You probably young enough, Mel, to remember Abbott and Costello.
Oh yes, yes.
Those brothers and so forth. Well, these are even Paul Mooney brothers. They're twins. They do like a tag team style. Right. Well, in this performance, Dexter originally wanted a foursome, so it'd be kind of similar to what you've already seen with other formats of the Kings and so forth for comedy and so forth. But I encouraged him, let's do something different. And so with this performance, you see every element of comedy that ever been done. We do a combination of tag team comedy, we do stand-up comedy, we do crowd participation comedy, and also we do what we call improv. All of these things in one performance. And most people that have seen it, they almost don't know what's going on at first. We've had to learn, almost educate as we go, because they go, what is this new form of comedy? Most people just come out and grab the mic and start telling jokes. Whole production with two people. And that's the cool part. When you see it, most people go, this was really unique and different and refreshing. So we're just realizing that it's going to take a minute get where we want to be, but we're getting there.
Amen. And with the help of Mel and the things that he's doing with these other radio stations that are all bringing us on board, it's really going to boost what we believe in. Yes. And it's going to be a great boost for us.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And Dexter, I understand that you have a connection with the community of Las Vegas. You went to college with a gentleman who is extremely prominent in our area.
Yes, Mr. Lawrence Weekly, as you guys call it, but I'm from Grambling. We call him Larry.
Larry.
Larry, Larry, how you doing today? And another good friend who's there also is I just forgot his name. My brain went left. But I'll remember his name Alan Shelton. I'm sorry, Alan. He's a prominent real estate agent there. Yeah. All right, yes.
Well, but, that is absolutely fantastic. We're looking forward to seeing you in the area. We'd love to have you guys come back. I know that you were here for the Stellar Awards along with Marvin Sapp and all the other guys who were here during that fabulous time. Listen, you're going to have to come back and hang out with Dr. Lawrence Weekly.
Now, oh, he is a doctor now?
Oh, he is a doctor now. Yeah, man. Earned his PhD. We are so thrilled and so happy for him.
Oh,
yeah, man.
He got his PhD. That's so awesome. Man, you said
he got.
I was thinking about you, Dexter. So he's a doctor. You can get your blood pressure checked, but he's
him got a P, a H, and a D after his name.
A D, yes, he
doctor.
Yes, he
does. Educated himself. Educated him.
Oh man, I'm telling you. So Matt, tell me that. Yeah. Tell me about the most memorable performance that you all have done as the Bishops of Comedy.
Well, I said that's a good question because I say it's kind of a tweener.
Yes.
I would say probably at this point there was a point where the Bishops had a super long intro of the tag team. Comedy, and this particular show was going so good. It was at a place called the Mansion, and we didn't get to the other part. It was so good. like we had to cut and edit right in the middle and go, man, they no longer. We was only supposed to do like 15, 20, but they kept going and like I said, man. So we had to do an edit. That was super memorable because it was just we were newly kind of getting where people was kind of opening the doors back open. You had artists with a mask on. And of course, I'm telling people, keep your mask on. You may do better at dating. And so increase your count of interest. And then we actually had another pastor at the Garden of Praise where we were able to do the newest version of what is now the standard version of what we do. And that was over with Pastor Nichols at the Garden of Praise. And that was so good that the whole church beckoned us to take photos as a church. So really a blessing of ministry there through laughter.
Amen.
All right, that is fantastic. Dexter, we're going to leave the last word with you. What would you like to leave with our listening audience?
I want you guys to remember that the Bishops of Comedy, our ministry is healing through laughter.
I love that.
And with everything the country, the world actually has been through in the past 24 months or better, we've been a little tight and stuck up and can't do anything. Bring the Bishops of Comedy into your church, into your life, and allow yourself to laugh wholesomely and go home with a smile on your face. That's what we do as the Bishops of Comedy.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and to do that, Mel, to do that, they need to contact us at thebishopsofcomedy.com.
Amen. And give her that phone number.
712-6300. That's 310-712-6300, thebishopsofcomedy.com. Coming to a church in Las Vegas near you as soon as the pastors and the board agree upon calling us in.
Amen.
Gotta go through that board, man. Gotta ask that board.
Gotta go through. If my daddy say go through the bold. He don't put no R in there, the bold.
His name is Dexter Smiles, and his name is McClinton Neal, and together they are known as the Bishops of Comedy. You heard it here on Keeping It 100 with Mel and Bruce, sponsored by the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. What they see is what they'll be. My name is Mel Tiller, and that's Keeping It 100.
Amen.
Beautiful.